What's up guys, Eric with Verus Engineering, and today we're going to be doing a really quick install on our GR86. If you're hustling through this, probably will take you about an hour. If you're taking your time, maybe 2. Don't even need to lift up the car, but we're going to make some more front end downforce. We have our front splitter end plates, which improve high pressure on the top side of that splitter, and it also creates a low pressure pocket on the back side to help evacuate some of that air in the fender. So we're going to install these guys. They also have a nice little cutout for what we are going to potentially call like a aero skirt, I guess. The factory has like a little aero skirt that kind of helps evacuate the fender as well, and then this just allows that airflow through it so that it still functions, as well as creating another low pressure pocket in this region. We're going to discuss what's included in the kit, which is basically 2 of these guys, one left and one right, and then a hardware kit which encompasses all the bolts, nuts, and washers needed for the install. As far as tools required, we're going to need a drill with a drill bit. It's a little bit smaller than a quarter. You can use a quarter, but something that is roughly a quarter. Small screwdriver, Sharpie or something to mark the holes that we'll drill in the splitter. We have a 3mm Allen wrench and a 2.5mm Allen wrench. Let's get to it. All right, so we have the wheel turned. These are 3 push pins that we're going to remove real quick. We're going to use a flathead screwdriver, push in on the center, and then pull those out. And that's where we're going to install some M4 clip-on nuts or U-nuts. I don't know, whatever you want to call them. And then down there is actually where we're going to install some bolts and drill some holes in the splitter. All right, so in this bottom one, we're going to pull this guy up. We're going to install the U-nut. It's not exactly fun, but we're going to pull that up like so, and we're going to install the U-nut on the bumper itself. And then these guys, similar deal. All right, similar thing here. And then on this upper one, we're actually gonna have to peel the bumper back and get it on. There's a black piece under there and it's not fun to see. So you guys saw me struggle a little bit with that. Oh, all right. So here's the bottom one. The middle one is actually, let's see here. I don't know if you can actually see that, but it's actually behind the bumper into this black piece. Uh-oh. It's actually behind the bumper into the black piece. And then this upper one, you have to pull the bumper. You have to pull the bumper away from the side marker and then slide that on there. Then everything will go back on and line up just fine, but we're going to install the end plate there. All right, so my recommendation for the next step is we actually get this guy lined up with the trailing edge of that splitter like that. We're going to mark these 3 holes, and then we're actually going to drill the splitter. You can obviously install this with the M4 fender washer and button head cap screw in those 3 and then mark the hole, but I'd rather just do it once, install the end plate all at one time. So I'm going to drill those holes really quick. And again, I'm kind of like, this is ABS plastic, so it can kind of conform a bit. I'm basically aligning that trailing edge of the end plate to the splitter, and I'm making this outside edge align as well. And then I'm marking those holes really quickly, like so. And then we're going to drill the holes. And honestly, guys, you can do this off of the car. So basically, like, have the splitter off, use that as your template. This is going to be kind of a pain in the butt because the drill's obviously kind of big, but we're going to make it work. It'll be all right. Like I said a little bit earlier, we're going to use the M4 hardware, which is the slightly smaller hardware that is supplied. We're going to use the M4 in these parts, these 3 bolts, and then we're going to use the M5 hardware, which is a slightly larger in diameter and slightly larger washers, and then these nuts are going to go on the bottom. So we're going to start working our way through that. All right, so I'm going to tighten the rear or the bottom bolts first. Basically, again, lining this up to make it look as nice as it can. Actually, I'm going to lie. I lied. I actually want to tighten this one first, since that seems to be kind of pushing rearward a decent bit. So we're just going to tighten this guy. 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench on the M4s, 3 millimeter Allen wrench on the M5s. So we're just going to snug that up. Kind of get that a little bit more flush on the rear, so I'm not fighting it as much. You can kind of pull it out. Again, just trying to make it flush, look nice. And then the trailing edge looks pretty good to me. I'm going to push it forward just a hair. And then because the nuts are serrated, you don't actually need to hold on to them. You can start. They should start, and then once they start gripping, they don't need a wrench on them. And then we're going to finish up by tightening these 2 top M4s, and the install is basically done. All right, guys, that concludes the install of our GR86 and BRZ end plates. Really simple install, 0 holes in your car, just a few holes in your front splitter that we have hopefully supplied you. I guess this would potentially work with some other front splitters. It may not look the greatest, but at least with our front splitter, everything lines up, looks really nice, and seems like that OEM plus look that we always go for. This will improve front end downforce again by creating a high pressure zone on the top side and then helping some wheel well evacuation behind it. And ultimately, the units are ABS, so they're gonna withstand some elements and some damage, just like your bumper will type of deal. Until next time, look forward to doing some more installs on this car and getting on track. Hopefully get the oil pan wrapped up here soon and see where we go with that. Until next time.